I'm Mike.
And I'm Noah.
And this is NFGeeks. Alright, Noah, I got, I have friends all around the world now.
Oh,
thanks to NFGeeks.
Mr. Big Shot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. NFGeeks is international, And so I have friends from all over the world. I have a new friend in Israel, okay, believe it or not. I have friends in Australia and Malaysia. And I have a friend in Sweden named Hannah. And she's the Prime Minister of Sweden. And no, that's not true. She's not the Prime Minister. She was the blonde one in ABBA. That's who she was. Do you know who ABBA was?
I know what ABBA is.
Okay, that's cool.
Somewhat.
All right, that's right. Everybody should have a favorite ABBA song, I think.
See that girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine's Take a Chance, Take a Chance, Take a Chance. That's my favorite. That's all right. But Hannah, okay, she's not in ABBA either. But Hannah made a video with her husband. She makes a few videos with her husband. And what's interesting is that they have the same dynamic as you and I. Hannah is an ESFP, and her husband's an INTJ. And he is an INTJ, too. He looks like Alex in, 20 years. Okay? Right, he has Alex's kind of features, which is interesting. And that always interests me that the types seem to manifest themselves even physically around the world, which is interesting. All right, but they have the same, so whatever their issues are similar to our issues because they're totally opposite on everything. Even their weaker functions and and everything that they have going on is opposite. And so they did a video about conflict and what are their conflicts and how they resolve their conflicts. And I think you and I should do one because we have the same problem. No, problem is the wrong word. I'm an ENFP, you're an ISTJ. We're in this weird area.
One's boring, one's,
awesome, right, Hey, we both like Adventure Time, though. We got that going. We'll have to talk about that. Although there's conflict there, too. I mean, there's no winning. But we'll bring that up.
I'm sure.
So we have that similarity. But one thing that's different is that, they're a husband and wife, and we're father and son. And so they really, really have to work things out to make that marriage work. Where because we're family, there's a different power structure, obviously, between us. But at the same time, we don't have to work it out. We're family. We got to live with each other no matter what happens. You know what I mean? We're not going to
and we both realize that.
Right. We're not going to get a divorce. You know what I mean? You and I, we're stuck with each other, pal. So it's you and me. So, all right. So why don't you start off, Noah? What do you think? We'll start with conflict and then resolving the conflict. What do the conflicts feel like to you, or how do you analyze them? How does the major way or the most of the way it goes for you in terms of our conflicts?
What do you mean? What do I like?
What is the pattern that you see between us in terms of conflict? Like what are the issues?
Whether it's something I do or just something happening, you seem to be way over emotional.
Okay, sure, okay,
or can easily get to a very emotional point.
Okay, how quickly would you say?
Well, pretty quickly.
Okay.
For the fact of what happened with the video game consoles.
Well, we just had an argument right before we made these videos.
I'm just playing the Wii in his room because he moved it in there.
No, I didn't move it there. Okay, already this is starting up.
Okay, I moved it in there.
Okay, and why?
Because you wanted to play the game.
No.
No, you wanted to play...
No, hold on. See, that's not what happened.
You wanted to play the Zeldas.
No, that's because you took over the Xbox for Skyrim. And so
I only did that because I thought you were doing...
No, I, in my ENFP altruism, gave you the Xbox, and for that you could have a Skyrim summer, okay? So you got the best game system in the whole house just for you. So that I could have... And then I gave myself the Wii because I had to have something to entertain myself. And then you go in there and take over the Wii, and no one's using the Xbox.
You weren't in the room playing the Wii. You were off on your computer watching the video of...
Hannah, the Prime Minister of Sweden, yes.
Yes. So,
you don't know.
And then you come in and get all pissed at me because I'm playing the Wii.
Damn it, I want the Xbox.
Okay, then why can't you go get it?
Oh, because I don't want to mess up your stuff.
See? Your emotions are clouding your judgment.
All right.
Like, I don't want to make him feel bad by taking the Xbox, even though he's an ISTJ and wouldn't give two craps.
I realize that, but I'm more sensitive to you than you are to me.
But I'm not sensitive at all.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
So, okay, for the fact that I'm not sensitive, you could just take the Xbox.
Okay, yes, but I'm trying to show sensitivity, and you're not acknowledging
But I don't care.
I know, and that means you're a jackass. Since I'm giving you all this love
But there's
and care.
no need to get all emotional about it.
Yeah, of course there is.
Why?
Okay, because it's a slap in the face to my to being a loving father that I've tried to be.
I know you're a loving father, but why do you need to be like all crazy?
All right, so that's the nature of your conflict.
Yeah, what's the nature of yours?
Okay, I would say it's your fascist tendencies. I would say your controlling fascist.
You must do this now.
Yes.
This must happen at this time.
Yes. That's not too bad. I don't mind adjusting to the time thing because you do have a time thing. You have a major time thing going on with you. It's easier in the summer because there's not a lot going on in your life, but you have a time thing. But even like when I'm going to pick you up, Dad, when are you picking me up? Like I have to say something like at 12:45 Eastern Daylight Time, I will be picking you up.
I just want to know so I can be ready.
I know, but I always have to. I don't know when I'm going to pick you up. I only can put it within like 2 hours. Like in 2 hours, I'll go. All right, but the time thing is actually adaptable. To because I know you do need to be places at certain times, and you want to be there, and it relieves anxiety for you. So I don't mind doing that so much. It's not my time. Something that's really funny about ISTJs and you is that, you want to be at school like 40 minutes early, like practically. Yeah, more or less.
A half an hour.
All right, that anything over a half an hour, you're having an anxiety attack. But for me to do that, to get you there, you have to wake me up at 7. Like I would say that, no, for us to do that, I got to get up at 7. But if you get me up by 7, we can make it. And God damn it, Noah, and this is such a good thing, but a weird thing, is that I can look at my clock and it'll say 6:59. And there'll be no knock on the door. And then it will turn right to 7, precisely 7, boom, boom, boom. Dad! Like, are you waiting outside the door with your phone? Like, how are you nail it? You've never knocked...
I wake up really, really early and start watching TV while glancing at this one, and because this one's 1 minute before, when that went 6:59, it's really 7, so I just knock.
Well, I have... yeah, the fact that you took the time to even do that. Like, you've never knocked on my door when my clock said 6:59 or 7:01. Like, literally, you have it down that precise. Now, that's not too much of a conflict. Okay, one conflict I'd have to say is your complete fascist guardianship of the milk. Like, you are a milk fascist.
I'm not a milk fascist.
You are a milk fascist. You're keeping track of the milk. You're measuring the milk. You have, like, alert systems. Like, we're on yellow alert. There's yellow alert milk. Dad, we have 1/3 left. Like, you're actually measuring the milk as it goes down.
Well, that's so I know when we need to go get it.
You know when I need to go get it? When I go into the fridge and it's not there. It's just empty shelves. And then I know, oh, that's right.
You're such a jackass. You're such a jackass.
I know, it's true though. And the thing is that makes me crazy is like, you give updates. It's not even once. Like, there's these multiple updates about the milk that goes
Another
on.
thing.
Yes. That's a particularly humorous one. Okay, how do you think we resolve conflicts? How are conflicts resolved? Or how do you feel that they're resolved?
Like mine, specifically?
No, it could be either one, but how do we, when the conflict is over, what has happened between us?
I could be a little less fascist.
Well, you could be, but what do you actually do? Are you actually less fascist?
I don't have to actually update you, I could just update myself.
Well, that's what you could do, but you don't do that.
I can.
All right, but the question is, what do we actually do? What do we actually do? Not hypothetically what we could do. What do we actually do when these things come undone? Well, what do you do? What do you do to try to keep to end the conflict? All right, sorry about that. No, I had to answer that phone. That was an important phone call.
I know.
Okay, so I think I was asking, what do you do to resolve the conflict? What do you do to try to resolve the conflict with me?
Okay, I'm not really sure, but I do know that after the conflict is over, me and you always laugh about it.
Okay.
Or can laugh about it easily later.
Sure, that's right. That's true. We actually have a big laugh about it. It turns into a big
And even
joke.
how it's like all Myers-Briggsy, and us being opposites.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what I do is I try to think, after I calm down, what I try to do is I try to let you know that I still love you and that it's okay, and I try to accommodate in some way. Or I also try to understand that you're just being an ISTJ and you're doing your very best and you're trying to be dutiful as you're capable of to whatever is going on. Even though silently you may be annoyed, you're still dutifully trying to do what I ask of you to do, or trying to, you know, you're never actually directly, how should I put it? You know, you're never directly adversarial, or directly trying to disobey or anything like that. That's never the case. And I sort of know that afterwards.
No, I keep that behind closed doors.
That's not true.
No, it's absolutely true.
Why?
If I'm ever pissed, I like close the door and just yell at, like, as if I was yelling at them, but I just don't say it to their face.
Okay, but that's not the same as being disobedient.
I know. I'm not being disobedient. I'm just, like, thinking
So
of
you
all
do that for me?
No, I barely do it for you.
Okay, that's good. Well, barely implies that you actually do it sometimes.
I've probably done it once.
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing recent.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that makes me feel better. You know, certainly.
My feelings aren't hurt. No.
Well, maybe a little, because I know you did it once.
Well, you... Forget it.
That's all right. I think what's hard for both of us, and I wonder if this is true about Hannah and her husband and other interactions like this, is that for you and I, you know, we're never on the same page. That doesn't mean we're always in conflict. You know, we're never like you know what I mean?
No, I'm at the beginning or end of a page. He's somewhere in the middle.
Maybe, but and it's not always a bad thing. I always can acknowledge that your page is okay, and there's nothing wrong with your page, and your page is a good page.
My page is the Bethel page.
Yeah, maybe, but we're still on the. But we're never like, you know what I mean? We're never in sync in that way. Like no matter what, like what will happen is, because you don't know this, I'll try to get on your page. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get to the time thing, whatever. I actually make a specific effort because I love you and I'm an NF. And then I get to your page and, like, you're gone. You're not there. You're somewhere else. And then I try to accommodate again and, like, no, missed it again. You know?
Well, then why are you even trying?
Because I'm your father and that's what NFs do and I love you and I'm doing my best.
But you're only causing yourself stress.
Yeah, well, that's what NF parents do. That's what we do.
But that seems stupid.
Okay, but that's because you're an insensitive SJ. So if you understood...
I'm just saying that seems kind of dumb.
Well, no, it's not dumb, though. It's trying to reach you and trying to accommodate you.
Okay, I can get that, but it's just stressing you out for no reason.
No, it's not for no reason, Noah. It's because you know, it's... Well, here's where the father-son thing is different than Hannah and her husband, because they are equals and they have to manage it. And this kind of comes a little bit from Confucianism, I'll admit, but my moral responsibility to you is greater than your moral responsibility to me. At some point, when I'm old and decrepit and, you know, on the oxygen, you probably will have more moral responsibility to me. But as long as we have this relationship, we're not equals, but that doesn't mean that I get to do what I want, even though I know I do what I want. But it means that we don't have the same responsibilities to each other. It's more important for me to take care of you and accommodate you than it is for you to accommodate me, because I have a greater responsibility to you than you have to me. This is the world according to your father. But that is how I think about it. So really, even though you do accommodate and you do your dutiful best, and I'm glad about that, of course. I feel that it's more my responsibility to think about it and to be careful about it and to take it into care, because I have to care for you. Now, it's not as much anymore because you're like 17 or whatever, and, you know, right? And so, you know, I could leave you home for like 10 hours and it's fine, but I can't. But I still have a responsibility to you. You know, more someday it'll switch over because that's just what happens. You know, that can't be avoided. So that's one thing that I try to do. I also think that one other thing that's kind of funny I always think about is that it's a good thing that our types are in this order. And if they were in the reverse order, where you were the father and I was the son, I think we'd hate each other. I don't think we'd be nearly as close to each other as we are. And that doesn't mean that it's better, that I'm better. It just means that it's more adaptable to each other this way. Because I think that if you were the father and I was the son, I think I would see you as a fascist, and I think you would see me as mentally ill. and I don't think we would get along at all. I think it would be far more conflicts. You know, what do you think?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because I always say jokingly, if anybody watches King of the Hill, that Noah and I are like Hank Hill and Bobby Hill, but in reverse. Like, imagine if Bobby Hill was Hank's dad instead of Cotton Hill, that crazy, his crazy father. It was actually Bobby It's kind of like Bobby and Hank in reverse. Because honestly, I identify with Bobby in that cartoon. No matter how whacked out he is, and the things I understand Bobby's position. A little bit better. All right, what do you think? All right, so how do you feel about that in terms of, or think about that in terms of the difference between father and son? What makes it seem different for you, easy for you, hard for you?
It's relatively easy.
You think so?
Yeah.
What makes it easy?
I'm not a J. You're not judging me on what I'm doing. You're just a P and letting me go free.
All right, that's good. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, that's true. I kind of let you do your own thing. I never interfere with what you're doing. I may have opinions about it, but for the most part...
I won't listen to them.
No, you won't, because you'll be like, whatever.
But I may listen to a few of them.
Right.
I'm the judger, so I'll...
Right. You'll judge it.
But I can choose.
Yes, wonderful. But I don't... Yeah, but I'm okay with it. And here's the thing. The good thing about your boring ISTJ-ness, it's actually very... You can trust it. Noah is very trustworthy. So I don't have to worry about leaving you alone. I don't have to worry about you going into a liquor cabinet. I don't have to worry about you... doing anything bad. I can leave money with you. I can leave money in the house just anywhere. Hundreds of dollars. I could just leave them on tables. I come back in 10 hours. It's all right there. You didn't go and blow it on anything. It's all right there. And if you did take some, it was to get what? Milk. So there's no, you don't have to worry about things being stolen. I don't have to worry about things being broken. That's a really good thing. Honestly, the best thing about being a parent of an ISTJ is that the joy comes from relief. Parents talk about their teenagers, and I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about all sorts of horrible things. Kids crawling out of windows and, coming home and they're drunk and all that.
Getting
pregnant, all sorts of things. Getting someone pregnant. I don't ever worry about that at all. It wouldn't even occur to me. What do you think about it? You can have the last word, Noah, because we're all done.
Well, if that were to happen, I would have notified you.
Oh, that's great. What, in the memo? To Dad from Noah regarding getting a girl knocked up. Dear Father, on August 2nd, 2012, I engaged. That's funny.
Yes, it is.
All right. Good job, Noah.